Hello, everybody. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Political Vigilante Live Super Chat on Sunday, February 16th, 2020. Exciting. If you're new to the show, we do this every Sunday at 3 o'clock. Alien FX, Bernie 2020, what's up? A-Line FX, Alien. I always say Alien. Zach, it goes great. Thank you for asking. What do we got going on here, everybody? Let's bring up YouTube. Hello, Norma. Hello, Julie. Alan Effect. Got it. Austin Voight, what's up? Poppy Cakes, Funky Tuna, howdy. Matthew Akin, Heather Johnson, yo, Michael Fortner, Shelley Thomas. Ooh, you're going to see Erni tomorrow at the Tacoma Dome. Outstanding. Aloha, Allison, Julie, Andrew, D Battis. So I thought it said D's balls. Sorry. D's nuts, fool. Hello. Go see Bernie in the Tacoma Dome. That's fantastic. B-Ball 511. How does Bernie win a brokered convention? Very important. I know. Eric Hosso, what's up? Lynn, Elizabeth, hello from Montreal. Bonjour. I know maybe 5 French words. Never been to Montreal. I hear it's beautiful. 62 watching, 28 likes. Hit the like button, everybody. Hello from SoCal. What's up, Pickles McGee? Pickles McGee. That's a great screen name. Urban 808. C'est la vie. Right on. Oh, what are we going to do with Bloomberg? Oh, boy. It's just like, it's so funny. Bloomberg just showed people that support Bloomberg, like Vote Any Blue or Do or neoliberals or whatever. Again, it's another fantastic mirror showing their hypocrisy. Bernie's too old, but the 78-year-old Bloomberg, same age as Bernie, that guy I support. He's not even a real Democrat. He's a registered, he's an independent. Oh, Bloomberg has gone back and forth between Republican and Democrat like 4 times. It's unbelievable. What's up, Vermont Bread? What's up, Jeffrey? Greetings from Florida. Hit the like button. Cal Kalinske made a good point about Tulsi conceding to Bernie's sooner than later. Yeah. Backyard Politics. Hello, everybody. Patrick Bellamere, the best democracy money can buy. Greg Palace, absolutely. Let's face it, Bernie's not going to have 51% ballot on the first convention. No, it doesn't look good, but we've only had 2 states, 1 caucus and one actual, primary. And so, yes, they're trying to cheat every way possible. We all seen this coming for a year, that they're trying to push it to a second ballot. And a brokered convention is where they would, Hillary and Mayor Pete just, oh my God, or whatever. Oh yeah, Bloomberg. What's up, Cappy? How you doing? Professor Anthrax. Mitt and Hillary are going to run. Oh, that'd be a great team. Hello, Stinky Boyle Gurney. Nice. Wonky Shanga. If we ended up with billionaire versus billionaire, would people finally see the corruption? Yeah, I know. What if Bloomberg runs as a third party? Good. If Bernie gets the nomination and Bloomberg runs as a third party, great. That'd be awesome. Trump and Bloomberg and Bernie in the middle, I would love that. Then you would really see how this is what the political system really looks like. Trump and then Bloomberg, who just jumps. It'd be fantastic. What's up, Heidi B? Judy C. We've hit 416 RPM carbon and nothing on cable news about it. Green New Deal. Oh God, of course not. Yeah, Tulsi's a female JFK. I'm down with that. 137 watching, 58 likes. Hit the like button, everybody. It's good you're still supporting Tulsi. Bloomberg Clinton just puked in my mouth a little bit. It's horrifying, but then it would be actually great. If that would be like, yeah. That would be like, I actually hope that happens, because it's like now Americans, to sort of vote any blue will do. People that sort of passively pay attention would be like, what? This is the worst ticket ever. That would be the worst ticket ever, man. That's a good joke. I'm loving it, letting it stay, Robert. We don't want the DNC picking Bernie's VP. Now that's a good point too. I've talked about this before. Like if it's too overwhelming, the DNC, there's just too many of us supporting him. Then that's what I worry too, is they know they're going to concede Bernie getting the nomination, but then they're going to try to pull him to the center and pick some awful centrist Klobuchar or somebody like that as his VP. Like that is a horrible. I agree. Bernie Tulsi is a good ticket. Dave Anthony was on the show. You know, he had some reservations about Tulsi, which are legitimate. I still like Tulsi as a VP, but he brought up the woman that's head of the flight attendants union would be a good VP pick. Yeah, I think Nina would be a great VP pick. And then again, we talked about this. Tulsi is Secretary of State or Secretary of Defense, and I would love to see any of those combinations. What's up, Mares? What's up, Leah? Well, the question Leah Murray is asking: how much power does the VP actually have? It depends on the president. If you're a puppet and your VP is Dick Cheney, then the VP's got a lot of power. Some people push the VP off to the side and don't let him do anything. But the VP, if used correctly, can be, the kind of strong arm. And I think that's, since Bernie is, he's nice. We've talked about it. We really want Bernie J. Appel right on. Sam Dean, what's up? I've talked about this. Bernie is super nice, and we want him to play a little tougher and take his gloves off more. But if he had somebody like Nina Turner or Tulsi as his VP, it would be awesome, to watch them. I mean, it's kind of the way Obama used Biden. I obviously, there's plenty of criticisms of that team, but in terms of just the question of how powerful can the VP be, Obama would let Biden say the crazy stuff, and Obama would be like, whoa, Joe, easy now. That was his job, was to go out and poke people and stuff like that. The VP now is a sneaky ass puppet with lots of power in the bankers. I mean, look, Mike Pence was picked by the Republican Party. He's an evangelical, and Mike Pence is there to push that agenda, and he plays it all nice and quiet, and which tricks people, into thinking that, he's decent or whatever, but it's not, Yeah. Bernie Sanders, Nina Turner, 2020. Don't let them do to us like Wallace like they did Wallace and forced Truman on us. Yeah, that's a great point. So we're going back to, let's talk about that. If you watch Oliver Stone's The Untold History of the United States, it really talks about going into the 1940 Democratic Convention. That's when FDR was running for his third term. He wanted Henry Wallace, who was a open pacifist democratic socialist, right? And they pushed him out to put in Truman, who was much more, hawkish. And that was the Democratic establishment. So much so that FDR actually wrote a letter to the Democratic convention saying, don't move to the right, don't move to the center. We're out here. I've been elected twice because of all these lefty populist policies, you know, the New Deal and all that stuff. So it's really, it's really, the VP can be critical. And also it has to be somebody young. I think it should be a young woman of color, because that knocks out all the old white guy identity politics stuff. And also he's 78 years old. It needs to be a young person. Like, you know, will his health be, will he be able, you know, will he be healthy when he's 82, 83 to still be president? Maybe. Bernie seems pretty healthy, but that's a legitimate thing. And that's not me being ageist or whatever. Obviously I'm a Bernie supporter, but that's a legitimate thing to think about, you know? Bernie's a nice guy, but he's going to make mincemeat of that Bloomberg dirt if they ever make it to the debate stage. Yeah, you got that right. I'm so down with that. Hawaii is getting basic income. Oh, wow, that's cool to hear. I didn't know that. Yeah. Occupy Milwaukee. Oh, wow. All right, let's read some super chats, citizens of Gotham. Don't forget, February 29th, Ron Placone and I are doing Progressive Comedy Tour in San Francisco. February 29th, 2 weeks from yesterday, San Francisco Progressive Comedy Tour. I will be on a panel for the Jimmy shows in Sacramento and San Jose. But come to the tickets for Ron and I's live shows are only $15. They're $20 at the door. So, you know, get your tickets in advance. Go to grahamelwood.com. Last year, the San Francisco show sold out, and we had a lot of walk-up people. We had decent advance sales last time, but, you know, get your tickets early, folks. And also, when you buy tickets early, it helps us sort of manage the finances of the tour, kind of knowing going in we've sold this many tickets or whatever. So if you can cover that show, that'd be great. And then in March, we are March 12th in Orlando, March 13th we're in Tampa, and March 14th we're in Miami. So go to grahamelwood.com for your tickets. Also, I want to say we passed 60,000 subscribers a couple days ago. Boom. How was that? So I just cannot say how cool it is, and thank all of you for doing that. Make sure you're subscribed. They've unsubscribed people, but it's been awesome. And some of my views have kind of upticked a little bit. I've had several videos get over 10,000 views, which hasn't happened in a while. Like last summer, I was getting all these 20 and 30 and 50 and 100,000, 200,000 view videos. And I had some pop up. The Jillian Maxwell one got 17,000, and the, you know, Warren Buttigieg lying videos are getting decent views. So it's like, okay, all right, that's cool. Check it out. Check it out. Cat B Pelosi Tandon. Dream ticket. Demon dream ticket. First Cat sent me this. Oh, I gotta, I'm sorry. This is, I gotta show you guys this musical. I'm sorry. This is like maybe the funniest or most horrific thing I've seen. I'll read some super chats in a second, but this, you need to see this. You need to see this. Oh God, you won't be able to hear it. Oh, that's right. I'm gonna play it anyway. I don't care. It's too great. This is some musical in New York with Mike Bloomberg dancing around. They're carrying him. It's Mike Bloomberg holding a football. They're singing. He's singing a Brotherhood of Mike. I'm not making this up. A Brotherhood of Mike. I don't even know what this is from. I don't know. This is from, I think it's the show called Neoliberal Nightmare, the musical. So I can't watch any more of that, folks, because I think my head might seriously explode. So, but I just wanted to show you guys what's happening out in the world. Is that not the craziest thing you've ever seen? He's like the monorail. Yeah, is singing with a Jonas brother. Yeah, it is the craziest thing. Yeah, Bloomberg is a sexist and a racist, and he's got ties to Epstein, and women have accused him of sexual assault. He's out of his mind. Like and America's out of their minds for thinking that he's a good dude. It's just crazy. Cool Blue 71, shave your knuckles for justice. Thank you for supporting the show. Imagine the worst ticket ever. Hillary Clinton and Debbie Wasserman Schultz could have happened in 2016. Oh, yeah. And how many neoliberal, any blue will do is will go, yeah. And be like the two most corrupt people in American politics. You know? Definitely the two most corrupt women in American politics. Like, unreal, man. That would just be the worst ticket I've ever seen in my life. Allen FX, boom. What happens when they steal the election? Who forms the third party, and how do we overcome the structural advantages created by the current duopoly? Well, let's answer that. Hello, everybody. Thank you for watching The Political Vigilante. The question is, what happens when they steal the election? Who forms the third party, and how do we overcome the structural advantages created by the current duopoly? Well, that's a great question. And I know Bernie has said he will back whoever gets the nomination, which is a little disappointing because if they do steal it from him again, what I would like to see is he ran as an independent and win as an independent and crush both parties. That is sort of my dream, pie in the sky. If he goes along with whoever they cheat with, I don't know. I hope somebody, because I will be 100% done with the Democratic Party if that happens. And Bernie goes in line, and Nina and Tulsi all go in line, and AOC, and they all go in line, then I would be really done with them wholeheartedly, publicly, vehemently done. What I would like to see if that were to happen is that they all jump and form a third, AOC, Tulsi, Nina, all these people, Ro Khanna, all these people just come and start their own third party and just say, this is enough, and get a bunch of people. There's this 100 million, you know who won the last election? Didn't vote. If didn't vote was a voting bloc, they won every state. They won, I think, like maybe 48 or 49 out of 50 states. I forget what it was, but I did a video on it. Didn't vote would have won the election by an electoral and popular vote landslide. So how do you tap into those people? Well, now I know there's a lot of reasons, there's a lot of things, and part of it is we have a corrupt system, we have electric voting machines that are easily hackable, we have all this stuff, right? But if you could tap into that 100 million people that don't vote and really get them to jump in and go, wow, you're representing me, then we would have a revolution in this country, a political revolution, not a bloody one, a nonviolent revolution. And that's how you would circumvent and crush the two-party system. And you would vote in all these independent candidates. And you would slowly see people voting out, and none of this, we flip the seat. It'd be like, we dumped the seat, no red, no blue, gone. That's what it would take. And I remember seeing Chris Hedges and Dr. Cornel West speaking after the 2016 election, and they said Bernie missed his opportunity in 2016. Now, he's running again, and they're all backing him, which is great, and Bernie still could, like, them cheating him in the brokered convention, that hasn't happened yet. It's 5 months until Milwaukee. I know it doesn't look good, but it's 5 months until Milwaukee. But that's how you have to do it. You have to, as Dillingham Radigan says, a terminal bypass of these two utterly corrupt parties. That's how it's going to have to be. You got to get someone that can motivate that 100 million person block to get up and vote, to make a point to vote. And what you would do, you'd pull people from both parties who are like, yeah, I'm done. I'm fed up with my party and I don't like the other party. You would get a lot of those people. It's possible. Look, Ross Perot threatened that back in 92. He really threatened that. And people were like he was looking like he was going to vote. And then he made a deal with the Democrats, or the Clintons threatened him. I don't know what happened. They found some dirt on him or something like that. And then when he dropped out, he mentioned the Democratic Party like 8 times in his speech, which was like, oh, he made a deal with the Democrats. So that's what's up with that. Boom. Ray Foliage. Graham, check out Bernie and his disappointing interview with New York Times. Got to be Tulsi. I have not seen that, Ray. I know some people feel disappointed in with Bernie, and that's why they want to go Tulsi. I know some people, like again, I had Dave Anthony on the show, and he brought up what Modi is currently doing in India, and it sounds like it's pretty awful. And she's lined up with that guy pretty severely, and she needs to speak about that. She needs to really come out and say what maybe she has, she hasn't, I missed it, but she needs to come out and say what Modi in India is doing right now is wrong. She needs to come out and say that. But I get it, man. I get it. And look, I don't like Bernie constantly going, my friend Joe, and Liz Warren blatantly lies on stage at the Democratic debate, and then in her speech after New Hampshire, and says Amy and I are the only ones that haven't taken super PAC money. And Bernie didn't flat out go, you're wrong. I'm included in that too. And actually, you've taken money from 6 billionaires and super PACs, and so is she. You're lying again. So I don't know. It's hard to say, man. I'm still going for Bernie. He's not perfect, and he wants to, he refers to Putin as the dictator and all this stuff. Not that Putin's great, but I don't know. I still am cautiously optimistic in him. And Tulsi's Medicare for All isn't my favorite plan. Bernie's got the gold standard on Medicare for All. Yeah, we all and Tulsi's polling at 3%, and and she pulled 3% of the vote in New Hampshire. Now that could be stacked because we know they're rigging stuff. She could have gotten 10, 15% of the vote. We don't know. They could be just flat out giving Klobuchar and Pete more votes. Who knows? But it's a valid thing to bring up, man. Thanks for supporting the show. Boom, boom, boom. Ooh. Hey, Mayor, shave your knuckles for justice. Hey, Mayor. You see new IDC chair appointment, Mark Smith? Oh, God, I'm not that familiar with that person, but I'm sure he's awful. Can't be a good appointment. 377 watching, 178 likes. Please hit the like button, everybody. And come see Ron and I on the road February 29th, Saturday night in San Francisco Progressive Comedy Tour. Last time we were there, which was about 13, 14 months ago, we sold the place out. It's the same venue. It's like a 100-seat venue, and we sold it out last time. There was a lot of walk-ups, so get your tickets in advance. GrahamElwood.com, March 12, 13, 14. We were in Orlando, Tampa, and Miami. And again, when we did Miami 14 months ago, we sold that out. We sold out Orlando last time, so get your tickets now, everybody. Buying tickets also in advance helps Ron and I, so check that out. Hit the like button. Oh, yeah, the likes are stacking up. Can't search him. It's hard to find him. Yeah, I doubt he's good. Hey, Mares. Bernie is healthier than many 65-year-olds I know. He's a smart man and probably eating all organic and getting great sleep. Yeah, absolutely. He's out there playing baseball. Thanks, Sam Dean. Yeah, here's the thing, too, about the Progressive Comedy Tour. We just sold out Tucson, which was awesome. And I say to so many people, you might come alone or just with one friend, but then you're in a room full of progressives. It's like how we all feel welcome here in this chat, except for the occasional troll wingnut. But like, you're amongst friends. It's a great night. We laugh, and there's activism, and Ron's bringing his guitar now. He's singing songs, and it's awesome. You know, at Tucson, we had the Green Party there. We've had Movement for a People's Party. We've had DSA. So you meet activists and activist organizations. Movement for a People's Party was at our last show in San Francisco. So come out, man. It's really awesome. Yeah, Bernie saw him playing baseball. Abby Martin suing in Georgia. They prevented her from speaking unless she swore allegiance to Israel. Yeah, I heard about that. Good for Abby Martin. She's a badass, man. Yeah, like this is college campuses where it's supposed to be all about free speech and intellectual discussion and debate. It's just like, nope. Like what can you imagine if Russia spent all this money in this country and you weren't allowed to speak ill of Russia in this country? Could you imagine that? If Russia was donating to all these campaigns and there was a super PAC called Russia PAC, like APAC, could you imagine that? Could you imagine how the mainstream media would be losing their shit over that? It's just preposterous, man. Yeah, free Assange for sure. Free Assange, free Manning, MBA and MIPA, Tulsi 2020. Nice. Graham, I like the MMT talk. I would say the curriculum isn't that hard. It's just really understanding what fiat currency is and monetary sovereignty. Yeah, Sag, thanks for bringing that up. We'll just go over quick. So what that is, if you understand what America is, a fiat currency, which means it's not based on anything. It's not backed by anything. It used to be backed by gold, but Nixon took us off the gold standard, meaning it used to be, for every dollar that was out, you had to have that exact amount of value in gold, right? So let's say there was $1 trillion out circulating in US currency, there would have to be $1 trillion. But now there isn't. It's a fiat currency, which means the Federal Reserve can just make up as much money as it wants. And we are a monetary sovereign. So on the federal level, when people ask, how are we going to pay for it? Well, first, I can go through all the taxing and the tax and all that stuff, not, getting taxes from Amazon and companies like that, closing the loopholes, getting rid of subsidies, cutting the military budget in half. Those are all things we need to do morally. But we really don't need that money if you study MMT. And I have a whole MMT playlist. So please watch that whole playlist and check out Citizens Media TV and follow people like Fidel Kaboob and Stephen Hale, both of whom I've interviewed on this show. And I need to have them back. I had Stephen on, but I need to have them both back on, have another discussion about this. But yeah. So thanks, Zach. Keep talking about that. Jeffrey Brown, Shave Your Knuckles for Justice. We'll buy tickets to Tampa show. Please. Thank you, guys. That's another great way to support what we're doing is to buy tickets to the live show and buy them in advance. And you save $5. It's $15 in advance and $20 at the door. So, some of our shows we sell out. Some you can buy at the door. Like we had Good Walk Up in Tucson and stuff like that. If it sells out in advance, I will announce it. You'll see it on the website and I'll announce it on social media. But buying in advance helps. Because Ron and I can go, all right, well, we've sold this many in advance, which means we'll get this amount of walk. We can kind of manage the budget of the tour because the ticket sales pay for everything. The ticket sales and the merch sales after the show pay for the whole tour. So we need to make a profit on the tour. If we go to a city and we don't make a profit, we really can't justify going back there. Like Florida, we got to buy a plane ticket and get a rental car. San Francisco's not as bad because we can just drive up in Ron's car and, he stays with friends. I have a cheap hotel room and it's not that much overhead. But when we got to get on a plane, go outside of California or the West Coast, man, it costs a lot of money. So early ticket sales helps. So thanks for doing that. 399 people watching, 237 likes. Knock, knock. Gray Walker vet for Tulsi, right on. MMT does not work for states, only fiat currency. Yeah, that's a great point. Let me clarify that too. The fiat currency works on the federal level because the federal government can just create as much money as it wants. States and local governments operate on a budget the way you and I do. Like the state of California and the city of Los Angeles bring in, a certain amount of tax revenue, and that finances their budget. If they go over that budget, then they have to take out loans. The Federal Reserve just gave $6 trillion to Wall Street. They didn't use tax money. They just Federal Reserve just create. It's a banking cartel. The Federal Reserve. It's not monitored by the government at all. It's a bank. So. Can we have Bernie during the week and Trump on the weekends? That's funny. Yeah, that's cool. Just like two parents. Max D, Max, shave your knuckles for justice. You're making Gotham great again, Max. We need vote watchers from Kenya to help out with our elections. As a developing nation, our fragile democracy needs help from someone that has it. Yes, you're absolutely correct. That's a good joke. Also, too, at the Progressive Comedy Tour, I wanted to mention this. I have really cool political vigilante T-shirts that say "Make Gotham Great Again." In fact, I'll show them to you. I'll grab one right now. I'll be right back. I only sell them after shows, so you cannot get them online. So I'm going to show you the shirt real quick, and it's another great way to support the show. And I really want you to understand that. I know you're hearing me. Someone's like, "Where'd Graham go? What's going on? Is he alive? What's going on? What is this? I don't get it. Who is this guy? Now he's in another room? Hope his mic reaches. Hope his mic reaches. Someone just turned out. Hey, yo, what's up, ladies? So I like just showing you this because they're cool shirts. So you see this? Yeah, it says "Make Gotham Great Again, Political Vigilante." So basically what I did is I took this logo that Pat the Batman fan created for me. See this graphic pops up? Boom. And just put it on a black shirt. Political Vigilante, Make Gotham Great Again. You can only get these after shows. So another cool reason to come to the Progressive Comedy Tour. CIA got Graham. Yes, absolutely. The two-headed coin toss. Absolutely. Graham, you're one of the few Democrats I still follow. I am not a Democrat. I am a progressive. I'm an anti-war, lefty, democratic, socialist progressive. I am not a member of the Democrat. I've been registered independent for years. I registered as a Democrat because in the state of California has a decline to state status, which is how you vote as an independent. But they purged those in 2016. So I urge everybody. We're on March 3rd, I believe, is the California election. Yeah, let me double check that. Presidential primary election, March 3rd, vote center location. So I don't know if it's too late to register. That I'm not aware of, but I registered as a Democrat, so they couldn't purge my vote. Vanna Dulles, shave your knuckles for justice, brother. Thank you for supporting the show. Keith M., you're making Gotham great again, Keith. Q to Klobuchar. Who is the Mexican president? The Mexican president, she looked like she wanted to phone a friend. What a serious candidate. Yeah, because all she has is centrist platitudes. She didn't know, her and Steyer didn't know who the Mexican president was, and you want to be the leader of America? Man, how are you going to talk about immigration when you don't even know who to call? You don't know do you know who Justin Trudeau is? You know, that's the prime minister to the north. Did you know that? Do you know Hawaii is part of the United States? Did you? So is Alaska. Anna Baird retired. Bravo. Oh, a nice gift. That's outstanding. 417 watching, 271 likes. Right on. We've been doing good numbers. It's been awesome. 207. Let's get the likes up to the views. So if you haven't hit the like button, please do it. It's that thumbs up button right at the top. There we go. 279. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Thank you, Victoria Gin. Victory Gin. Sorry, Victoria. Jeffrey Brown, making Gotham great again. Hoping to make the Tampa show. Yes. So in March, we do Orlando, Tampa, and Miami, March 12, 13, and 14. And we've never been to Tampa. We've done Orlando and Miami before. And like I said, both of those towns sold out. So get your tickets in advance. And we've never been to Tampa. So I've performed there, but we've never done the progressive comedy tour there, which will be awesome. So please check that out. Ray Foley, Movement for a People's Party will be in Milwaukee. That's awesome, Ray. Yeah, Movement for a People's Party is great. They've come to a lot of our shows. We're actually performing in Milwaukee the Sunday before the convention in July. We do Chicago on the, let me make sure I got the dates correct. In April 24th, we do Seattle. The 25th, we do Portland. Get your tickets for that. May 14, Indianapolis. May 15, Detroit. May 16, Cleveland. June 19, Louisville. June 20th, Nashville. We will be at Atlanta on June 21st. And in July 11th, Chicago. And July 12th, we do Milwaukee. I'm also speaking at the Mythicist event in Milwaukee on July 11th. So check that. Get your tickets for that. Thanks, Ray. Always great to see you, brother. Chris Cotty, shave your knuckles for justice. Was Bernie's backing of Clinton under threat? I mean, that's a really good question. Look, I had 310 likes. Hit the like button. So I had Elizabeth Lee Voss. I've had her on the show numerous times. She writes for Consortium News. I highly recommend. She's a fantastic journalist. I had her on the show in the spring, and she brought up a valid point. She goes, Graham, if you look at the Podesta emails, they talk about having something on Bernie. And she's been vocal and critical of Bernie because she's like, Bernie's going to sell us out again. And I don't blame her for that. I'm still supporting Bernie and I want him to win, but I applaud her for saying that. I know it might not be a popular thing to say in sort of our indie media progressive circles, but it's a valid question to ask. You know, is Bernie and do they have something on him? That's why he's saying, oh, I'll back whoever. That's why he backed Hillary. That's how the Clintons play ball. They play really dirty, cheaty, hardball, and they probably have something on him. I don't know. It worries me, but it's a legitimate question to ask. Hit the like button. Go to grahamelwood.com for tour dates. Come see us in San Francisco on February 29th. Graham, did you see the video the Convo Couch did on California primary rigging? No, I have not. Love Convo Couch. Love the work that they do. I've had Fiorella on the show. Johnny Pasta, I love that show. They brought on an insider, a regular person being trained to work in the process. They are purging voters again. Oh, God. It's what I've been saying all the way since last summer. If you live in California, register as a Democrat. And if you did, here's the thing too. So I get a vote by mail, and this came in the mail. And so I fill this out, and then I go to because I'm going to be in town on the 3rd. Sometimes I'm out of town and I have to mail it in. But on election day, because I'm a little leery of the early voting ones. Now, this is a Democratic primary. This is a Democratic ballot, not a decline to state, not an independent ballot. So on election day, I walk right to my polling place. You can do this with any polling place. If you filled out your ballot by mail and put it in the envelope, not the mailing envelope, but the actual sealed ballot itself envelope, you can walk to the front of a line of any polling place, because I've done this, and just walk right up to the person and hand it to them and say, that's my vote, and watch them put it in the ballot box. And then go, thank you, and get your I voted sticker and walk out. That's what I do, because I don't trust the mail. Because I had a friend, their email or their vote by mail was returned, didn't have enough postage or something, and it's a postage paid envelope. And they had registered as an independent. I'm like, I bet you that's some Clinton vote purging shit. So if they had something on Bernie, they would be using it already. They're desperate to stop them. Yeah, that's a valid question too, man. Yeah. Never have faith in voting institutions ever. Watch them like hawks. Mayor's Iowan. They're cheating. They cheated in Iowa. Probably did some cheating in New Hampshire. Pay close attention. Pay close attention. George Allen. What's up, George? You're making Gotham great again. Sending this quick. I'm at work. I'll check this out later. Right on, George Allen. And that's also a good point. So all my live streams, if you miss them or only see part of them, I keep them on YouTube archived, so you can watch the whole thing at a later time. Sometimes I cut up some of the segments if there's actual legitimate segments to spread out over my stuff. So yeah. I want to say Wednesday, I will be going, let me make sure I got this right. Yeah, Wednesday the 19th. I'll be going live immediately following the Democratic debates. And Thursday, the 20th, I'm going to do the Political Vigilante game show. I haven't done it in a little bit, so I'm going to do it. I haven't got my guest yet, but I will be doing that. Jay Bird, ever put all your eggs in one basket? That's a trick. Don't do it. Lone Wanderer 6594, shave your knuckles for justice. Centrists like Pete and Biden destroyed my life. Yeah. Yes. Centrism is the worst. When I hear Klobuchar and Pete talk about it, I'm like, oh, remember all those times throughout history where the centrists came to the rescue? Remember when FDR said the only thing we have to fear is purity tests? Like, no, he said the only thing we have to fear is fear itself. He was bold. Susan B. Anthony was bold. Rosa Parks, Dr. King, they were bold. And they took a rash of shit in the face of all this adversity, but they knew it had to be done. They needed to make change, affect big social change. That's what sit-ins and protests and all that stuff were, boycotts. That was big in the civil rights movement. They boycotted businesses. Yeah, that's what you do. You vote. I tell you about this all the time. You vote with your dollars. That's when you donate to the show at the Super Chat, or you do Patreon or Rockfin, or you come to a live show. You're voting with your dollars. You could give your money to Amazon or Disney or, neoliberal comedians that just have a couple of Trump jokes. You could be doing that. But instead, you're supporting me. So that's why this channel has 60,000 subscribers. 3 years ago when I started, I had a couple hundred. I started January 2nd of 2017. I had 164 subscribers. So February 15th, 2017, I probably had 400 or 500 subscribers. Maybe 1,000. I don't know. I got 60,000 now, and that's with them throttling me. We're going to hit 100,000 this year. That's my goal. Phantom Jester, thank you for supporting the show. Jerry gives people free education by interviewing a diverse field of experts, real journalists. The mainstream media is jealous. He is taking their job and doing it better. Yeah. Oh, Joe Rogan experience. Yeah. That's the thing I like about Rogan, man. Like, he, like a lot of comedians, he started his podcast a little over 10 years ago. It was just comics. He just had comics talking about being comedians and MMA, UFC, whatever, which was fine, which is cool. And look how he's expanded it. he's not afraid to have somebody on with a crazy point of view that's different from his. He really wants to know, like, what do you think? Why do you think this? You know, like it's important to talk that. He doesn't just bring on his friends. You know, he asks legitimate questions. He want, you know, it's really, you know, his interview with Neil deGrasse Tyson and Bernie and even some of the alt-right people. He's had Alex Jones on, and people are like, what are you doing? It's like, no, I'll give him full credit. He just wants to hear what they have to say, man. Like, that's kind of what a real journalist should be doing. And Joe would tell you probably he's not a real journalist. You know, he's just a comedian, you know, and a fan of MMA, but he wants to hear from all these people. And I think it's, you know, comedians, we meet all these different people from all these different walks of life. And when you hang out with comedians always think of things that, when I hang out with other comics, they always think of something. I go, wow, that's right. I never thought of that. Like when I hang out with Ron and Steph and Jimmy and Dave Anthony and Lee Camp, they're like, oh, wow, I hadn't thought of that. It's like, so you're inquisitive. It is really interesting. Jeffrey Brown, we'll buy tickets to Tampa show. Thank you. Go to grandmama.com for all your tour dates, everybody. 432 watching, 345 likes. Hit the like button. San Francisco, February 29th, Progressive Comedy Tour. Ron Placone and I. Get your tickets. Last time it sold out. Go to grahamelwood.com for tickets. March 12th, 13th, 14th, we're in Orlando, Tampa, and Miami. Orlando and Miami sold out last time. We've never been to Tampa, so get your tickets in advance. It really helps when you buy tickets in advance. Helps everything. You don't want to get sold. You don't want to get all right. Let's see what we got here. Put your Bernie bumper stickers on now. Share the live stream, Vigilantes. Thank you, Victory Jen. I'm only voting for Bernie no matter what. All my eggs in one basket. Jimmy spitting and drinking Alex Jones is still great. That's funny. Ted Cruz has a podcast now and thinks he's better than Rogan. God, I'd love to see that. Oh, how boring is that podcast? The Ted Cruz Oil Lobby Experience. What is that called? What? Oh, God. Big Baby Zubas, what's up? Thanks for supporting the show. Jeffrey Brown. Ron can't wear a Penguins anything in Tampa. Oh, Penguins. Oh, oh, this is a hockey thing. Okay, yeah, I know Ron's a big hockey fan. He's a Pittsburgh Penguins fan. You're obviously sounds like a Tampa Bay Lightning fan. That's fantastic. I'm a Blackhawks fan. Actually, me and a couple of buddies went to the Kings Calgary game because the Kings are pretty awful this year, so the tickets are cheap. That was fun. Brian Arbor, Shaver Knuckles for Justice. Just heard a Bloomberg radio ad with Obama praising him. If he chose Michelle Obama, are we cooked? Thanks. Oh, man. Bloomberg, if he picked Michelle Obama, man, that's a God, I hope that doesn't happen because that would get so many neoliberal, any blue will do's to go, Michelle Obama, she'd be great. You know, man, that would be a tough one. A billionaire and Michelle Obama. God, that's just like a neoliberal corporate centrist wet dream. A billionaire and an Obama. Oh, God. It'd be so brutal. If that happens and they do it early, then Bernie's going to have to pick his VP before the convention. I really think he needs to come out and say that. I really think it's got to be Nina or Tulsi and just say, this is who it is. It needs to be a young woman of color. I really think that, you know, because yeah, because that's how you squash that, which is a legitimate threat. It's a legitimate thing. It's a good question you brought up, man. It would maybe force Bernie. No one's ever, like, it's rare. I can't think of a time in recent history where somebody picked their VP ahead of the convention. I'd like to see Bernie do that. I really would. Phantom Jester. Graham, you skipped my chat a few questions back. No, I didn't, Phantom Jester. Settle down. Thanks for supporting the show. Professor Anthrax. Make Gotham great again. Who's going to be the sidekick at the Jimmy Dore show in Miami? Are you going to be there? Oh, man, I wish. We try to schedule this more. I'm sending all of Ron and I's tour dates to Steph and Jimmy so we can sort of coordinate, like what we just did in Arizona was great. We did a progressive comedy tour show in Tucson the night before, which is an hour and a half away. And then we did the Jimmy Dore show in Tempe. It was so awesome. And some of the people were at both shows, but some people could only come to one or the other, which was great, that people can pick or whatever. And so, yeah, we're going to try to do that because, Jimmy's got a lot of overhead on his tours because he's got to fly out Ruby and Arno and he's got to shoot everything. And there's just a lot of overhead on his shows. So then also having Ron and I, sometimes it's just not financially feasible. So if Ron and I are already in that part of the country, it makes it a lot easier. And I love doing the Jimmy Dore shows live. They're so fun. The show in Tempe was so kick-ass. It was so kick-ass. But I don't know if that's going to happen. I think it might not. Louise Brooks. What's up, Louise? Thank you so much for supporting the show. I will get a shirt when I see you in DC in August. Can't wait. Come to the swamp. Absolutely. She's talking about the show we are doing in August. 445 people watching, 379 likes. So like I said, we're doing San Francisco, February 29th, Progressive Comedy Tour. March 12, 13, 14, we're doing Orlando, Tampa, and Miami. April 24, Seattle. April 25, Portland. May 14, Indy. May 15, Detroit. May 16, Cleveland. June 19, Louisville. June 20, Nashville. July 11th, Chicago. July 12, Milwaukee. August, we are doing the 13th, Richmond, Virginia, the 14th, DC, and the 15th, Philly. September, we're doing New York City on the 10th, Boston on the 11th, Portland, Maine on the 12th, and Burlington, Vermont, September 13th. October 17, Minneapolis. October 16, we're doing Madison, Wisconsin. Check those out at grahamelwood.com. Alexander M. No Albuquerque. Man, we tried. We really tried. We reached out to some venues. You gave us some info on some venues. And we just couldn't find the right, because part of it is we do like 100-seat venues. That's about who comes out to progressive comedy. We usually sell 70 to 100 tickets is what we do. And so we need to get the bulk of the door. So we need to find a venue that's cool with that, like giving us most of the door and they get the bar. So we talked to some venues and they have this big overhead, or it just doesn't make sense financially. And then there was like the thing about Albuquerque, it's a little isolated. So it's hard to get other shows in and around there. But maybe Jimmy will do a show out there and we'll come with him. So I wish I had, we did. Graham saw Doug Benson in Knoxville 7 years ago. Great show. Love to see the progressive comedy show. Yeah, man, come out to Louisville or Nashville. Yeah, man, because this is a whole nother thing. Those Doug shows were super fun, but this progressive comedy tour is really awesome. It's Ron and I. It's all politics. Like in Tucson, we both had a bunch of new political material because there's new nonsense happening every week. And then Ron closed his show singing a couple of these really cool progressive, like, activist songs. So it's just like, even if you've seen this before, it's different every time. I like to work with the crowd and stuff and do material. Like it's we can't do a lot of this material for regular crowds. 387 likes. Let's get the likes over 400, everybody. Let's do it. What you want me to tell Bernie if we get a chance tomorrow night to come to Washington? Tell him to take the gloves off. Call out the Democratic establishment. Dave Heller, what's up, Dave? Thanks for supporting the show. Brian Arbor, making Gotham great again. If they had something on Bernie, he would run it. Would he run again? Yeah, I think it's a great point. It's a great point. You know, it's a legitimate question to ask based on, like, do they have something is a legitimate question to ask based on the Podesta emails. But then you're right. He's running again. Wouldn't they have brought it out already so they could just push Klobuchar and everybody up there? I don't know. Maybe they're letting, I don't know. I hope they don't, and I hope they're not using it, whatever it is. BMC attack, shave them. Hey, Graham, do you think Bloomberg's, where is it? I'm sorry, GE. Do you think that Bloom is sent from Israel? I'm starting to see all the pieces come together. I'm not sure of the parts. Well, look, he's a billionaire for starters. Now, whether he's got ties to Israel, I don't know about that. I need to see more evidence of that. But he's definitely a billionaire who was a Republican, who was friends with Trump. There's that photo of him and Trump and Giuliani and Clinton all golfing together, hanging out. He's got ties to Les Wexner and Epstein. He's got multiple women who have made sexual assault or sexual harassment claims against him, both. So at the very least, he's part of this awful pedophile, billionaire, sex trafficking ruling class. Now, we know that, Epstein was probably working for the CIA. We know Ghislaine Maxwell was a Mossad. I mean, I just did that story that the New York Post, or the Jerusalem Post rather, claims that she is hiding out in Israel. So, I mean, I don't know. I hesitate to make that claim or even accusation unless I see concrete evidence. But there's plenty, even if that's not true. Bloomberg is awful. He's racist. His stop and frisk, all the racist things he said. He's a billionaire. He's a legitimate candidate now. He hasn't been on one debate. We don't even know what he stands for. He just buys his way in. I mean, it's like he's awful. He used to be a Republican, like Liz Warren. He's buddies with Trump, like the Clintons. He's the worst. If there's legitimate evidence to show that, great. But for me, there's already enough to say why he's so awful. You know what I mean? So thanks for bringing that up. Patrick Flood, shave him for justice, Patrick. Hey, Graham, do you think Bloomberg's blatant buying of his candidacy is enough of a fuck you to wake a lot more average people up? Yeah, I think so. I think it's hard for even the passive political viewer, even the sort of kind of paying attention any blue will do folks to go, wait a minute. He just buys his way in? Yang has to drop out? I'm trying to put myself in the sort of any blue will do Trump bad brain of Kamala's out, Beto O'Rourke's out, Yang's out. I don't see Tulsi on the stage anymore. And he just gets to jump into the front of the line. People have to say that. And what's really good is all Bernie's talk here, going after the billionaires and all of our talk online and all of the, when somebody defends a billionaire, they just get shouted down on the internet. You know what I mean? Which is a good thing. Like Jane Lynch, when she was like, billionaires have a say in our democracy too. And she was literally defending billionaires in Pete Buttigieg's wine cave. And she got crushed on Twitter. And even people passively paying attention were like, wait a minute, don't defend billionaires. The tide is starting to turn on that. Americans used to be like, wow, billionaires are great. And you can be one too. No, you can't. So I think him running might actually bode as a positive thing. You bring up a good point. It might actually be a positive thing here. But I want to talk about the Democratic Party. Hey, everybody. My name is Graham Elwood. You are watching The Political Vigilante. Hit the like button. subscribe, share the videos out there, because when you do that, you make Gotham great again, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah, wasn't it great that Pelosi ripped up Trump's speech at the State of the Union? Boy, she's so resisting, right? So resisting, except she signs on with everything. Pelosi warns U.S. allies don't go near Huawei. This is the Chinese telecom firm, right? This was sent to me by Kevin Gretzner, I believe, Patreon supporter. Thank you so much. Go to patreon.com/GrahamElwood. She warns U.S. allies don't go near this company. Why is that? Are they bad? Remember, China bad, China bad. China and Russia are bad because we can't control them. You know who else thinks we should not do business with this with this company? Oh, Donald Trump. Oh, here's Pelosi again, backing up and supporting a Trump policy. The Trump administration is working to isolate Huawei from developing a larger foothold in U.S. partner countries. U.S. partner countries? Okay, so they're trying to steal our democracy? Who are these partner countries? Oh, the administration has specifically worked to keep members of the Five Eyes intelligence sharing group. U.S., U.K., Canada, Australia, and New Zealand from working with Huawei. So that's what this is about. Because companies like Apple and Google will give all their information to the intelligence community and the 5 countries that all work together. You know, the Five Eyes that are targeting people like Julian Assange, the Australian citizen that his own country won't even defend one of their citizens from being extradited illegally to the United States, who is being on trial in the UK. Did you see? Isn't that weird? Susie Dawson, a New Zealand, a Kiwi, has to live in exile in Russia because she exposed the intelligence community? That's weird. Chelsea Manning reveals war crimes, gives them to WikiLeaks to show the war crimes of the United States, and she's in jail? Isn't that odd? Isn't that odd? So that's what the Huawei thing is. We can't let China gather our information and track American citizens and all of these countries' citizens. That's the job of the intelligence communities in all of these countries, the NSA and all the MI6 or whatever. That's all of their jobs. Oh, and they'll say, oh, China steals our intellectual properties. And well, there's probably plenty of evidence that that's happened, but that's what this is really about. And Pelosi is, of course, on board with it, because this is the same Nancy Pelosi that got the democratically controlled Congress to vote to let Trump extend the Patriot Act. This is the same Nancy Pelosi that got the democratically controlled Congress to increase Trump's war budget. This is the big resistance. So that ripping up the thing, that's professional wrestling. That's professional wrestling. That ripping up was the equivalent of her grabbing a chair and hitting Trump in the back and him going, oh, what's going on? And her grabbing his wrist and, oh, move, no. That's what that is. The Trump administration will work with the UK on a way forward because the UK said no. They said they're going to work with Huawei. So now, guess what? Now the UK might be on the outs. Results in the exclusion of untrusted vendor components from 5G networks. So now they're threatening the United States, because the UK is going to let Huawei in. They're threatening to take money away from them, basically. How else are we doing that? The way we always do that. Sanctioning. Trade tariffs. Mike Pence told CBNC that the London's decision could jeopardize trade talks between the UK and the United States. This is, you know, extortion. This is how America does it. Remember when Julian Assange was in the Ecuadorian embassy in the UK? And then the IMF threatened to pull a $500 million loan, or we gave them five or whatever it was. We gave them this money, or 500 billion, whatever it was. We gave them a buttload of money. And then all of a sudden Ecuador is like, oh, Julian's got to get kicked out of this embassy. And then all those ridiculous smear stories of, oh, he's dirty and no one wants him there and he won't clean up after his cat and all this other crazy stuff. Those were all smear tactics. You see them in Vox. The sexual assault stuff, which is a complete lie. It's a complete lie. Believe me, I'm a survivor. I would not back Julian Assange if I thought even for a second that he was guilty of sexual assault. He's not. Read Susie Dawson's letter. Read Caitlin Johnstone's article in Medium. Two women who said they're open survivors. They're survivors of sexual assault. And they said, we back Julian Assange. We know this is a smear tactic from the Five Eyes, from the United States. So I'm just tying all these pieces together for you. You think this is just some sort of haggle over telecom rights and businesses? No, it's about them having intelligence over us, being able to monitor us at every turn. Here's what Pelosi said. Again, walking step for step with Trump. That's what Pelosi and the Democrats really do. His separating families at the border is awful. It is awful, but Obama deported 3 million people. Obama built those cages at the border, and neoliberals fell asleep for that and didn't have a problem with it. Be careful, unless you want to end up with a society like China or an economy like China, which is not in the free enterprise mode, Pelosi said. Yeah, they are. Over 1 billion Chinese just got pulled out of poverty. They're all about capitalism over in China. I've been there. There's like a communist government, but then like malls and people buying cars and all this stuff. What are you talking about? There's all these new, in the last 20 years, there's all these new Chinese billionaires. How do they get created? Because they're against a free enterprise? She should know she's worth $100 million. She got that by being a corrupt politician. Here's what the Secretary of Defense said about Hawaii. I'm just showing how this is how the intelligence community works. Hawaii is the poster child right now for that, Esper said. He's the Secretary of Defense, adding that the U.S. trade war with China is as much about national security as it is about the economy. So again, anytime they want to infringe on our rights, they say it's a national security issue. No. They won't have access to Huawei. Huawei would not give them all of the data. They cannot use Huawei to track what Americans and people in the UK and Canada and Australia and New Zealand are listening and doing. My cell phone they can track everything we're saying and doing right now. If I get rid of my iPhone or Samsung or whatever phone you got and pick up a Huawei phone, guess what? The NSA can't track it. Private intelligence can't track it. Do you see this? Remember this? The Cambridge Analytica scandal changed the world, but it didn't change Facebook. A year after the devastating revelations of data misuse, Mark Zuckerberg, backer of Pete Buttigieg, former Navy intelligence officer, let's put former in quotes and italics because he's still working for the CIA, in my opinion, still hasn't fulfilled his promises to reform. So here's the thing, they do the rip up at this. So this is, there's one state, there's one party, there's the intelligence state. They never get voted out. Republican, Democrat in the White House, it doesn't matter. How do I know this? This was the part at the State of the Union that nobody was Michael Moore didn't retweet this. Neoliberals didn't go, yeah. It was only that bullshit professional wrestling ripping up a speech, which was bullshit theater. It's theater. It's nonsense to keep you distracted. It's, oh, somebody stole Tom Brady's jersey. The refs were cheating. They cheated Golden State in the NBA Finals. You saw it. It's theater. It's political theater. Because here's what really happened. This is Trump. A standing ovation for Guaido. Let me just put the earpiece in here so I can hear this along with you, ladies and gentlemen. This is what happened, right? This is what happened at the State of the Union when they started talking about Venezuela. First he's talking about Cuba. Oh, he reversed Obama's thing on Cuba. Whatever. Republicans still want to fight the Cold War. And Democrats. The socialist dictator of Venezuela, Nicolas Maduro. Ugh. Pence stands. Just wait. Hold on. Just wait. Here comes some political theater. A brave man. Oh, Juan Guaido's in the audience. Pelosi's standing. Look at this. Look at this. This is professional wrestling. This is Hulk Hogan was injured. He's coming back to defend us. Whoa, wait a minute. Who's here? This is crazy. This is like Vince McMahon wrote this speech. Look at this. Guaido. He's a CIA puppet. Guaido's a CIA puppet. Most people in Venezuela didn't even know who he was. He just stands up and says, I'm the leader? Can you imagine if Bernie just did that? Stood up on the floor of the Senate when Trump's no longer president, I'm the new president. That's not a fair comparison because Bernie's the most popular politician in America. No one had heard of Guaido. No one. He's trained and schooled in the United States. He's a CIA asset, and he stands up. And look at Pelosi standing with Trump again, just like when Liz Warren did it a year ago when he said this will never be a socialist country. It will always be capitalist. And they're feeding this ridiculous narrative that Maduro's this evil tyrant and we got to fight for. No, they won't give up their oil. Venezuela has the #1 oil reserves in the world. That's what this is about. Are there legitimate criticisms of Maduro? Sure. Greg Palast was on Jimmy Dore show saying, hey, look, Maduro's he's done some stuff. Okay, fine. But he's not this tyrant who's murdering. Here's what happened. Chavez came into power in the late 90s. He nationalized the oil, kicked out the American oil companies, and gave it to the people and all these social programs and lifted all millions of people out of poverty in Venezuela. And when he kicked out the American oil companies, that's when we called him a terrorist. Right? That's when George Bush was. I remember he was talking about Saddam and Chavez in Venezuela. I was like, wait, who's this Chavez guy? What? In 2002 or whatever? I was like, who's Chavez? What does he have to do with 9/11? What? Oh, yeah, he has to do with 9/11 because he won't give up his oil. And Maduro was Chavez's guy. That's what this is. Look at this. Look at that CIA puppet. Yes, I'm a CIA puppet. Thank you, CIA. Look at this. This is theater. Wow. Look at that. Calls him, thank you, Mr. President. So when Nancy Pelosi, and that's what this Huawei thing is all about. I've shown you this before, and I'll show it again. The propaganda multiplier. The White House, the CIA, and the Pentagon dictate their talking points. They give it to the AP, the AFP, and Reuters, and then all these news organizations, and then also Google and Facebook. Remember now, CIA, Wine Cave Pete, and Zuckerberg, buddies in college, we're learning now. Went to college, Harvard around the same time. And then they feed this information here. Part of this that isn't in this, I didn't make this graphic, is then how the intelligence agencies monitor everybody. They do it with your social media. They do it with your phone. They track your data. They do all that stuff. So they can't afford to have Huawei come in and get some of these people that they can't track. They can't track 1.5 billion Chinese people. They can't track them. They can't track 300 million Russians. They can't track them the way they can track all of us and everybody at the UK and Canada and Australia and New Zealand, the Five Eyes. You see this? You see what the Huawei thing is really about? So thanks for watching the show, everybody. Shave your knuckles for justice. And join Ron Placone and I on the road. San Francisco, February 29th. We are in Florida, March 12th. Orlando, March 13th. Tampa, March 14th. Miami. Get your tickets now. They're $15 in advance, $20 at the door typically. You always pay a little more at the door, so get them in advance. April, we are going to Seattle and Portland. We have a bunch of other tour dates for 2020. Get your tickets at GrahamElwood.com. All right, everybody. Did you see that? Did you see what I just did? Did you see the logic compounding out there? 476 watching, 462 likes. We're almost there, everybody. Yeah. Why does Venezuela keep our oil under their country? Exactly. They got a lot of nerve. Same with Iran. They got a lot of nerve putting a country over our oil. They got a lot of nerve. Iran puts a country, first of all, right in the middle of all of our military bases. That was a little weird. And then above our oil? Whoa, that's nuts. That's a little crazy. Iran, I don't know why they're doing that. It's just, this is what a bully does. You know, the bully like walk up in the lunchroom and you're sitting there, you know, the smaller kid is eating his sandwich and the nerd walks up and goes, "What are you doing eating my sandwich?" That's what America does. Hey, look at this. Somebody's putting a country over my oil. No, this is our sovereign land. What did you say to me, punk? Like, no, I'm just saying this is our sovereign land. I'm sorry? Like, oh. The economic lack of diversity in Venezuela happened because of American companies, absolutely. All right, Jeff, rock on. Yeah, economic sanctions are war crimes. That is an act of war. Right. We sanction these countries in especially in Central and South America. We sanction them. We allow all this awful crap to happen. We make it so bad that there's poverty and protests, and then sometimes the governments react with too much force, and then we go, see, tyrant, nightsticking his own people. You mean like we did at Standing Rock? You mean like we do all the time during the Occupy movement? What we did to Black Lives Matter? Well, you mean like what we do here? Shooting unarmed protesters, Red Fawn Fallis, who's still in jail from Standing Rock? Is that what we're talking about? That type of tyranny? And then when they have to flee our country, or their country rather, they have to flee their own country and walk 1,000 miles. Only someone who's desperate, whose home life is so awful, would walk 1,000 miles. And then we build a wall. And what are they doing coming to our country? These parents are irresponsible doing this with their kids. Wake up, man. We create these situations so then we get to come and use force and get people out of power. We make it so unstable that the government's there's riots and all that the government overreacts or whatever. Then we go, see, now I guess America's got to come in and save the day yet again. Unbelievable. Cool Blue 71, shave your knuckles for justice. Michelle Obama is not a supporting lady. If interested, she'd be the lead, so forget about her as VP. Yeah, valid point. She's also said numerous times, I'm never running. I'm never going to be president. I'm never going to do it. So Adam Niswonger, boom. Shave your knuckles for justice, Adam. Thank you for supporting the show. Check out the book Quantum Mind and Social Science by Alexander Wendt. Sounds like nerd talk. No, that sounds like a good book. It's a bit heady. What did I just say? but really highlights the connection we have with the physical world and how it influences our social discord. Keep up the fight. Yeah, I appreciate. I love books like that. Actually, it's really. I have a stack of books to read. I actually just got Lee Camp just sent me his book. He's got a new book out. I'm going to have him on the show to talk about it. Lovely. But thank you for that book, Quantum Mind and the Social Science by Alexander Wendt. I will check that out. Thank you. Phantom Jester, shave him, making Gotham great again. I got this shirt in Nashville. Ron and I will be there June 20th. I think Tulsi as VP would secure Bernie the presidency. She swings the highest number of Trump voters. Plus, she is a favorite of the Joe Rogan and Jimmy Dore. Not to mention, she brings over libertarians, center-right people. And remember at the top of the stream, I was talking about if you can tap into the 100 million people that don't vote. That voting block was like, or it's 150 million or whatever it was. I did videos on this. If didn't vote was a voting block, didn't vote was a candidate, didn't vote would have been president overwhelmingly in 2016. So if you, and Tulsi taps into those people who are like, the system isn't for, it's all corrupted bullshit, because it would tap into that sort of libertarian, and then some of those like, social, like those sort of like progressive libertarian type. Some of you are fans of this show. Like I've met some of you. You're like, less government. You're for the Second Amendment, but you like the social stuff and the like that group. Absolutely, and you would absolutely get the people that the diehard Trump supporters. That's not a huge group. They're not. You're not changing their mind. You're not going to change their mind at all. The people that voted for Trump is the lesser of two evils, and 85% of the people that voted for Hillary and Trump, 85% of the total votes cast for those two candidates, 85% of those people said they did it as the lesser of two evils. So all the people that voted for Trump as the lesser of two evils because they just didn't like Hillary, which I don't blame them. People in West Virginia who are like, we didn't forget NAFTA. Those folks would definitely come over for Bernie if Tulsi was his VP. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm all for that. Balthazar 228, what's up, dude? Good to see you, man. Do you think Super Tuesday will be the deadline for candidates who have no viable path to the presidency? Also, did you see Klobb's and Aleppo moment? Yeah. Yeah, Klobuchar, we talked about earlier, didn't know who the Mexican president was. Yeah, that was like Gary Johnson. I don't know where Aleppo is. Yeah, that was pretty amazing. Yeah, I think Super Tuesday is going to be it. Like, we're going to get the Nevada caucus. We'll see what happens there in South Carolina. And then Super Tuesday is like, that's when a bunch of people are going to drop out. Especially if Bernie takes a bunch. And that's why it's so important for all of us to get out there and pay attention and fight the cheating and vote and canvass and phone bank and all that shit. Like a really good friend of mine, a comedian who was a big Hillary supporter in 2016, just texted me and said, are you a Bernie supporter? And I said, yes. She goes, I think I'm leaning in that direction, which is huge. And I said, hit the diversity of support that he's gotten. It's pretty inspiring. And she said, she gave me a thumbs up. That's big, especially in the stand-up comedy world, because a lot of people were like, big Hillary supporters, and a lot of the female comics, friends of mine, good friends of mine, were Hillary supporters. And some of them like called people like me and Dave Anthony and stuff like that, sexist and misogynistic because we voted for Bernie. And it was like really a bummer. So to have, and this friend of mine who did this, she never called me that. I love her to death. She's a sweetheart. But she was a big Hillary supporter. And she was a Hillary supporter because she wanted to see a female president, which I get that. I get the significance of that event. But the fact that she's like, I think I'm in for Bernie now, she's getting it. Other people are waking up, they're seeing it. They're like, wait a minute. And they're real. And all the people who are like, I just want someone that can beat Trump. If they see that Bernie keeps surging in these polls and winning primaries, they're going to go, then I'm backing him. And that's our job as progressives, to convince those people, not yell at them, not shame them, not shut up. That doesn't work. Talk to them and go, here's why. Look what Bernie's doing. Look who he's got. look who his coalition. And when they say those things, how is he going to get any bills passed, even if he is elected? Say, yeah, because he's going to have people like AOC and Omar and all these women that endorsed him are going to be in the Senate and Congress. So, Balthazar 228 again. Huawei is pronounced Huawei. All right, Huawei. But the W in way isn't accented or emphasized like War by Edward Starr. What is it good for? Absolutely nothing. Huawei. 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 Sorry. I don't speak Mandarin. Balthazar 228 again. The audio cuts for the stream when you earbud. Yeah, I know. I know this. I haven't figured it out. When I show clips during the live stream, you guys don't hear the clips, but I recorded that because I'm going to release that as a separate clip. I had Johnny come over from Combo Couch. I haven't solved that problem yet. So if I do I like to do at least a couple clips from the live stream that I can then release later in the week. So sorry. Jim Garrison, boom. We're all CIA puppets now, my friends. Thank you, Mr. President. Guaido. God, what ridiculousness. Balthazar 228 again. Sorry, it's more pronounced Huawei. Like Hua is pronounced like Mua. Like the old way people attempted to fetishicize kisses on the cheek. Mua. Thank you. This is a great lesson. I really appreciate it. 497 likes. Awesome. Awesome. I got an email from the Bloomberg team saying I will get paid $45 every time I type Bluebird 2020 during a live stream. It's probably a typo, but I don't give a shit. Salt Lakers. Yeah, take their money and then take that $45, pay $20 for bills, and then send $25 to Bernie. Huawei. Buttigieg is pronounced, corporate whore. Did everyone get that? Buttigieg, let me sound it out. Corporate whore. CIA asset. That's how you pronounce Buttigieg. Word up from Davenport, Nova Scotia, Canada. What's up, Thomas Spence? Abby Martin did a great video on sexual predator Joe Biden. He is a creep. That's the other thing too. The like those Hillary supporters that are like believe all women. Oh, except the women that have accused Joe Biden and Bill Clinton. Those women we don't believe. Ugh. What's up, Connecticut? Yeah, all POTUS become CIA assets. What's up? All right, folks, I got to roll. I got to get going. We've been doing the stream for about 2 hour and a half now. I will be doing, it's our job to put a yellow vest on. That is for sure. Phil Britton, what's up? Stop watching TV, the fascist eyeball in your house. Yeah. When are you coming to Connecticut? You know, we did Connecticut last time and it was okay. It didn't have a great turnout and it's just a little too close to New York City. So we just try to streamline our tours and do more bigger markets. So we'll be in New York City September 10th. I hope you can make it to that, or Boston the 11th. I think those are closest to Connecticut. 88 minutes, but who's counting? Oh, God. Pennsylvania, yeah, we're going to be in Philly in August. Actually, I have an hour, 29 minutes, according to my clock, young man. 510 likes. You guys are great. All right, so Wednesday, I will be going live immediately following the debates, which I think are going to be in Nevada. And Thursday, going to do Political Vigilante Live, 3 o'clock. And then, of course, every Sunday, I'm running the clock out. The Victory Gin. Boycott the corporate media. How do you watch Comedy Film Nerds? It's an audio podcast. We stopped doing it in December, but if you go to iTunes, all the past episodes are on iTunes. CIA asshat is more pronounced like CIA asshat. It's really good we're sounding out all the words correctly. Klobuchar is pronounced, if you sound out Klobuchar, it's boring centrism. Like, sound it out, boring centrist. That's how you say Klobuchar. Sound out, boring, Okay, thank you. Hey, Graham, I brought up the video about voter purging in California. People have until the 18th to change the registration. That's only 2 days from now. If you're not, they will receive a provisional ballot. Great point, Jesus. So today's the 16th. If you're registered as a declined estate, which is an independent in the state of California, you have until the 18th, 2 days from today, to change it to get a Democratic ballot. Why is this important? If you get a provisional ballot, which is what they give you if you register as a declined estate or do not state, DNS I think it is, which is the independent, those are getting purged because they know so many of those people are voting for Bernie. So if you're registered as a Democrat, they're not going to purge those because they can't risk some of those being for Wine Cave Pete or Boring Klobuchar or whatever, or Liar Warren. So please, if you are not registered as a Democrat in the state of California, do that tomorrow. Register by the 18th so that you were registered as a Democrat, okay? Thank you for bringing that up, Jesus. Really appreciate it. Everyone say it, boring centrism. Nope, I am straight. We need to nominate anyone who will beat racist Trump. That's Bernie Sanders. That's Bernie Sanders. And poll after poll after poll, Bernie beats Trump head to head over all the other candidates. Biden, Buttigieg, Klobuchar, Warren, poll after poll, it's Bernie Sanders. Why? Because he has policies that resonate with all these people in the middle of the country. Everybody would benefit from Medicare for all. Everybody would benefit from free college tuition. Everybody would benefit from $15 an hour. Everybody would benefit from a Green New Deal, which would put Americans to work with good union-paying jobs. It's Bernie Sanders. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. 423 likes. I appreciate it. 380. Our peak was over almost 500 people viewing. Again, Wednesday night, I will be going live immediately following the Democratic debates, which will be probably somewhere around between 7 and 8 o'clock Pacific time, of course. So watch the Democratic debates Wednesday, and I will go live. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Shave your knuckles for justice. I'm sorry. You're disappointed I'm straight. Yep, sorry. I'm straight. Thank you so much for watching the show, everybody. Thank you to let me make sure I got all the super chats. I hope I didn't miss any of them. Jeffrey Brown just bought Tampa tickets. Right on. I will end with all the tour dates. See us on the road. Come to the Progressive Comedy Tour. Ron Placone and I. February 29th, San Francisco. Get your tickets now. It's sold out last time. March 12th, Orlando, Florida. March 13th, Tampa. March 14th, Miami. Get your tickets at grahamelwood.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. You're all making Gotham great again, and shave your knuckles for justice. Bum, 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 bum.